We who sit in Bible classes and through sermons or in Bible discussions have heard people say things we believed were biblically incorrect or even potentially destructive. Every Bible teacher is wrong about something, and some are more prone to errors than others, not to mention those who comment from the pews. But the Bible itself records many cases of wrong-headed ideas being perpetrated against the church, some intentionally and some due to ignorance. But notice not all of these false ideas were treated equally. Some teachers, especially those who had an agenda to corrupt the church, were regarded as true heretics and labeled as false teachers, false prophets, and even false brethren. In 2 John, for example, there were brethren who were going about declaring that Jesus had not come in the flesh. John's instruction was, "Do not invite them into your house, nor bid them greeting." In other words, those people were not even to be given a seat at the table. They were to be denied access and interaction with the body of believers. But not all issues in the church were met with that approach. Let's look closely at an instruction given to Timothy by the Apostle Paul. "And the Lord's servant must not be quarrelsome, but be kind to everyone, able to teach, patiently enduring evil, correcting his opponents with gentleness. God may perhaps grant them repentance, leading to a knowledge of the truth, and they may come to their senses and escape from the snare of the devil after being captured by him to do his will." Notice, it isn't that the issues Timothy was dealing with were unimportant or simply matters of opinion. Within Paul's instruction is patiently enduring evil, coming to their senses, and escaping the snare of the devil. Clearly not matters of no importance. These people, Paul said, were in need of repentance and a knowledge of the truth, and yet his instructions are laced with long-suffering, patience, and kindness, even when talking about such important matters. Let's all remember that when we try to persuade people away from destructive doctrines, that 1. Projection of godly character and attitudes does more to win people than impeccable logic. 2. The goal is to win them over, not to win an argument. 3. When we correct others, it is with the constant awareness that we can be wrong too. Paul wrote to the Corinthians, "If a man thinks he knows anything, he knows not yet as he ought to know." There's a kind of primordial fear response to hearing something that you think is untrue when it has to do with your core values. Nowhere is that more true than in churches where the truth of God is paramount. But if we'll take Paul's advice, even then we'll not be overcome by our baser passions and attack people. Instead, we will remember patience, kindness, gentleness, traits that preserve relationships and bring about restoration. Here are some questions for further meditation. Read 2 Peter 2 and focus on the elements of the character of the person who's described there as a false teacher. What elements of character do you see that should trigger a response to danger? Second, read 2 John. What is it about the particular doctrine that is the focus of this brief letter that might have been such a cause for concern? Third, what is a reasonable way in a public forum to respond to someone or a situation that you believe will benefit from the gentle education rather than expulsion? You'll agree that it's better to present a well-thought-out response rather than a spur-of-the-moment one.